Good morning. Good morning, good morning. Welcome to the Center, a place where we inspire people to live spiritually fulfilling lives. We think we do a really wonderful job with that with all our classes. I'm Reverend Dr. Mary Mitchell. I'm a staff minister here in service to Reverend Sue, who's our senior minister. And we have practitioners available after service if you would like a prayer, affirmative prayer, which we call spiritual mind treatment, and we will be by the bell shortly until the animals come in, whatever. We'll see how many show up. There's a few here, aren't there? No, I'm just kidding. All right. If you have any electronic devices that might make noise during the service, please put them on silent or something. That would be great. Stun. Did I hear you say stun? Ah! All right. If we have any newcomers today, this is a real special day to be here. Just raise your hand. I don't see anybody new, but you never know. No? Okay. Well, we're glad you're here. We have some announcements. Huh? Oh, you're
Opening song?
I'm sorry. It's just been a rough day. The children's bathroom was locked in the cottage this morning, and I'm just like... We got it. Yeah, but we got it fixed. Okay, music.
Okay. Shall we?
We shall.
Okay.
This is a song will be familiar to many of you, and there's a chorus that's easy to sing with if you want. You can move around if you want. I gladly walk across the desert with no shoes upon my feet, to share with you the last bite of bread I had to eat. I would swim out to save you, you'll see of broken dreams. When all your hopes are sinking, let me show you what love means. Love can build a bridge between your heart and love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? I would whisper love so loudly every heart would understand that love and only love can join the tribes of men. I would give my heart's desire so that you might see. The first step is to realize it all begins with you and me. Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? When we join together, it's our finest hour. We can do anything,
Anything.
anything,
Anything.
Keep believing in the power.
Love can build a bridge
between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Love can build a bridge between your heart and mine. Love can build a bridge. Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Don't you think it's time? Love and only love.
Got my glasses on now. It's amazing, isn't it? All right. So we have focus announcements followed by birthdays, Judy, so hang in there. We're having a pet parade. Did you want to announce this, Sue? Yeah. That's good.
So October 4th is actually the day of pet blessing from St. Francis. It's a tradition, especially in the Episcopalian churches. But we are doing it today as a tribute to the animals and the pets that we love, both present in our life now and those that we have lost. So some people are still concerned about, so if you've got a dog in your car or a cat or a fish or a bird, you go ahead and bring it in so it's cool in here. But those pets will be arriving around 11 o'clock, and we're just going to invite you to join in that celebration. And Christy is set up over here to do photographs of you and your pet. And in the back is Nancy Renard, and she is a creator of little pet peeves. So those are on sale as well. In whatever we collect from that will help our homeless pet food collection. So just join us. If you have a pet and you said, oh, I forgot about it, you can race home after service and bring it back. Okay, so it starts right after the service, though. So I just wanted to let you know all that. Thank you.
All right, the 2022-23 Heart Song Choir season. Rehearsals every Thursday, 7 to 9. And are they starting this week, Judy? Where's Judy? They're in session now. Okay, it doesn't say that here. Okay. So 7 to 9 every Thursday. And we have a new choir director, Gwen Rooker. Especially encouraged to come here from Dalton. Oh, I think I should not do this today. Anyway, Landscape Save-A-Day, led by Diana Wolfstead and Charlie Bourne, Saturday, October 8th from 9 to noon. This is an incredible team that keeps our grounds looking so beautiful. And if you want to get out there, be in nature, and be with friends, it's a great time. Saturday, October 8th, 9 to noon. That's followed Monday, October 10th by the men's group with Roy Wolfstead, 7 to 9 here in this center. And then Sacred Sisters also meets Monday, October 10th, 7 to 8:30. This month they'll be talking about declare. Okay, declare something. Show us ways to see ourselves being direct. That sounds very empowering. Thursday, October 13th from 10 to noon, I'll be doing a caregiver support group. And we have 2 to 5 people come, and I'll tell you, for me, it's wonderful because I hear people going through the same thing that I'm going through, or vice versa, and we give each other ideas. And it's really helpful just to have someone to share that with. And then Friday, October 14th is another spiritual music jam. That's really great, very popular. Bring an instrument and just jam out with the crowd. And then on Saturday, October 15th, we'll be having a celebration of life for Nancy Purnell. Reverend Sue will officiate, and other ministers, Pam, myself, and Reverend Lynn, and Reverend Helen from the Buddhist will be here. It's at 2 o'clock, and we invite you to come and honor Nancy. I know if you've been here very long, you have been touched by Nancy Purnell. So it will be a really wonderful celebration. All right, we have birthdays. Okay, we'll have children. Okay, will the children come up? Oh, yeah. This is not my day. Come on up, kids.
Face
Lindy, are you ready for us? All right, please turn around and wave to the world that's watching us here on Facebook and YouTube and everywhere in the world. We're glad you're watching. Thank you. All right, now we have some birthdays. Anyone who has a birthday in October, please stand. Yes. All right. Oh, Sue, all right. Birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. All right. Were you? Lori, if you would come forward. Lori is going to talk about our stewardship in lieu of a reading this morning, right? Come on up.
I just wanted to introduce this part as we move through the month of October. It is a month dedicated to the center's prosperity and our awareness of our own prosperity. And the stewardship program is something that comes around every year and an opportunity for you to rethink how you are a good steward of the center and your gifts of giving, both in service and in your financial good. And so we've invited several people that are in the program right now to give a testimony as to why they feel it's so important in their lives to be so generous to help us. And we are preparing our 2023 vision and budget. So all of this is helping us to be ahead of the game and know what you are giving, then we can allow it to continue to flow. As we receive, we give back that amount to you. So I want to introduce, as you already know her very well, but my Lori.
Well, if anybody knows me, you know that I always have to be prepared. So, of course, I wrote this out so I could read it. When I first started working here at the center, all the way back November 1st of 2005, I fell in love with the grounds, with the people, and the feeling I had every time I came through the doors. Yet, as much as I loved the center, I couldn't get past the thought that if I joined the pledge program, it would be like taking a cut in pay. So I never did join the pledge program. Earlier this year, I took an online workshop put on by Centers for Spiritual Living called Foundations of Fundraising. I thought I would learn about exciting new ideas for events and other kinds of fundraising for the center. Instead, what I experienced was a spiritual awakening in myself. There was one word that was used in such a way it was as if I'd never heard it before. That word is stewardship. Stewardship means the careful and responsible management of something entrusted to one's care. That is when I realized that for me, being a steward of the center was much more meaningful and enriching than being someone who pledges to the center. It was a calling, a spiritual practice. I want to be part of the center's financial good. More than that, I want to see the center thrive and flourish to feed people's minds, their hearts, and souls. Giving financially to the center is one way I can help to accomplish those goals. So I joined the Center Stewardship Drive in 2022, and I've already signed up to continue in 2023, and I raised my stewardship amount too. And by giving this year, I have received so much more than I ever expected. So I encourage you to join me in being a steward of this center, which we all love so much. Thank you.
Please join with me in prayer as we take this moment in sacred space that has been created for us this morning. Let us recognize our source, that there is one energy flowing throughout the universe, one power, one presence, one substance, known by many names, one mind, God, Spirit, Source, the One, Love, all-knowing, the thing itself, which I call Spirit, the one that knows all and is in fact an energy of love, flowing through all around us and everywhere present. This safe, beautiful, loving Spirit that has made all this that is at the core of our very being. It is God in form, Spirit made manifest. We are a unique expression of the One. We are a manifestation of the One. It moves through us, as us, and all around us. So I know that for each and every person here and all watching online, that we are never separate from our source. We know that we are all infinite beings, and that as Reverend Sue speaks today, we are guided to know that our true nature is infinite. We are all part of the same fabric of oneness. We are limitless ocean of giving and receiving. All our needs are met. That there is a supply of everything we need. We know that there are no limits to our possibility in the world. We are joyous beyond belief. I know that this community is in joy, in celebration, that we feel an all-pervading divine energy within our hearts, a pure essence of the infinite unconditional love, that we choose love as a channel in our connection throughout the world, knowing that love is all there is. We are the light bearers, and no matter what happens in the world, we choose love over fear. And I know this center is a place of peace. I know this center is a beacon of light shining on every person it touches, reminding them of who they are, the light they are, so that they shine. I also know that this center is a tower of strength, that education happens here and lives changed and are uplifted. And because of that, the consciousness, the love, the harmony, the beauty, this planet is uplifted. Because of these truths, I am so grateful, for I know we are blessed to know this truth. I release my word into the law that always says yes. I know it is so, and together we say, and so it is.
That was powerful. That was enough said, right? Just to remember our truth. Well done. And thank you, Judy, always. There is a gift that Judy gives each and every week from her heart to yours, and that is a example of the ever-flowing consciousness of the divine that flows through her hands and out into our hearts and fills this room with a different essence than it had the moment before she started. So I never take that for granted, ever. Yeah. So a lot is going on today, and I wanted to advise Linda as the board member that when people start coming with their pets, that you count every pet for our, okay? So our attendance is just gonna soar. So, and I have to apologize to the many people because I just want this to flow. You know how dogs are? This isn't, if this was a cat blessing, I would probably really have a struggle, but it's all pets. But dogs just get their way about things, and they love us anyway, and they just show up, so I'm just kind of trying to follow their lead. And so I am looking forward to the blessing. I have blessing tokens for them, like communion. They'll get a little thing. They will be blessed with a little bit of oil, and they will be able to show off their beauty to all of us. And you know what? This is a day where our hearts open in such a powerful way to the love of the pets in our experience. So that's just part of this day, and we look at this month. You know, I need to request just one, Charlie, those curtains, can you shut them? I'm sorry, but the windshield has sunbeams, and you guys don't have any more faces left. One more, thank you. Ooh, that's so hard. The topic this month is, there comes one. Oh, that's so dang cute. I'm going to be so distracted. That is so cute. Yeah, Shirley's dog in the kitchen has rhinestone collars like layered up all the way. And I thought, that's a Shirley dog. That's a Shirley dog. So finances is what we're talking about all month. And finances is such an interesting word in itself, but let us drop our preconceptions about that, and let's see what the divine word is about that and find the wonder. And so the talk today is swimming in the infinite ocean. And then for each of you is, how can I learn to swim better? So Rumi will start us off with a quote that says, "We've been walking in the surf, holding our robes up, when we should be naked, diving under, deeper under." So Rumi has such a mystical way of capturing something that is for our ears to hear and our hearts to open to. So we each tend to relax when the God principle of abundance itself is spoken with relationship to things. And we don't personalize it, and we don't take it personal either when we just think of abundance. But if we tag the word money on it, or ideas of wealth, or the mere mention, hold on to your seat, tithing, that always guaranteed there will be some shoulders that shrug, some faces that grimace, some tightening that happens not even consciously. And I love Lori Barnes' message to us today, because there is this idea that starts to form in us that the enoughness, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. But let's let go of all of that today and really sit there and relax and just try to hear ourselves in what kind of messages that we tell ourselves that are shutting down the flow of the abundant good in the world. So let us feel that idea of floating in the infinite abundance, in the infinite ocean of good, always, 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 flowing and expressing itself in and through us each and every day, each and every moment. We're opening up to this profound universal truth. And then equally profound is recognizing there is no lack. There is no limitation. And when we really hear that at a soul level, our whole world frees up. Earnest Holmes says it exactly. We are surrounded by infinite possibility. It is goodness. It is life. It is law. It is reason. And it longs to express itself through us. There is nothing, he goes on to say, that life could possibly withhold from its creation, since it has poured its imagination and thought and feeling into everything and spilled it over. The ocean of life is forever flowing. We could just as well dip a gallon of water instead of a pint from it. That's a very key teaching right there. One of the turning points for me, and I discovered it in classes from Dr. Andrea and Dr. James when they were teaching some of the very basic foundational ideas of this philosophy. And they described it as spirit being like a flowing river, but we're looking at the ocean right now, and you have the opportunity to go partake of that. What do you go to receive your good? A little thimble and walk away all proud? A little teacup? A little glass? Starting to get into a water bottle size, getting a little courageous? A bucket? Or do you just dive in? Fully abandon yourself, as Rumi says. Go deeper. Go deeper. And we let go of some of the qualifiers that we have put upon money. So we're dedicating this whole month to really soul search our wonder and awe through finances and allow ourselves time to very generously contemplate that for ourselves, because it is life-changing. So buried, though, in each one of us is an understanding of the principles of truth related to money. There are principles that we started to translate about money and about our good. So when we realize that we're innocent in this, we can allow our shoulders to relax and realize if God is our infinite source and supply, and we are telling the truth to ourselves, that we are one with that, we're one with that understanding, the next question is, how much do you believe what you say? How much do you believe? Look at your own nature when it comes to interacting with abundance, what you feel about others that seem to have more than you. When you really want something, but you hear yourself say, I just can't do that. It doesn't fit in my budget. Because the divine shows up not just in a weekly, monthly paycheck, it shows up everywhere all the time. The moment you call upon prosperity, there was one story of a gentleman, he just could not stop finding dollar bills on the ground. So you know what he did with that? He started leaving them for people, and then he kept finding even more. And he's just, so the idea of not latching or controlling or hoarding is a key principle here. So we can say on one level, we all have a little bit of work to do, because we have been indoctrinated through our parenting and through history. But the real important question is, why keep God out of finance? Why keep it out? He created it. So why keep him out, her out? Collectively and individually, we are at one time or another, like I said, indoctrinated how we feel about money, because it's a felt sense, that contraction that can happen. The depression, the recession, the inflation, tax reform, taxes, lotteries. The Dow is up, the Dow is down. The Dow is up, the Dow is down. We operate this way, and then you hear, this is the worst day ever, folks. And you just think, okay, and it's related to money. And so you have to realize, I have to step back. This is not my truth. That's not my truth. I've even heard people in their giving look at the finances or the news of today and say, I must pull back. And I don't criticize that, because we have to give where our heart is willing to let it flow. But the greatest idea is to give where our hearts feel free. So we have the opportunity to bring a lot of clarity to this throughout the month as we look at areas where we don't quite trust the economy, or how we might judge the hand that is asking us for help. That's an important one too. It's all coming from an infinite source. It's not yours anyway. Okay, it's not yours anyway, and we think that bank account is totally under our ownership, when it's just a stewardship. So in the practitioner class that I just started, this is one question that was very profound, and I was interested to hear the response from it. So think about, what is your response? All the question was, how much is enough? How much is enough for you? The questions went all over the answers went all over the place. It's very personal, but it's very revealing. How much is enough? How much is enough? You have the freedom here to expand that concept right here today of your answer, how much is enough? So think of the small ways that this can come up for you on a regular basis, okay? Take yourself to a meal at a restaurant, and you get to that part where they hand you the slip of paper, and they say, you start to think, how much should I tip here? And then you might even hear in the background of your mind, that seems like a lot. I think I'll subtract a little bit from that. And, well, they were nice. I did get refills on my tea, so I'll add a little bit. And then you might start going to the idea that, I didn't like how they looked at me. And then you start judging your server, or you're judging something. The food wasn't on time, or the food was cold. They didn't pay attention to, oh, God forbid my spoon was dirty. I'm going to blame that waiter and chip away at his good. Minus points, minus points. Was the server too nice? Now you're judging his nature again, and it becomes plus or minus. If you had to wait too long, begrudgingly, you feel obligated now to tip. But you don't want to. Listen to that. If you don't want to, don't do it, because it's not coming from a generosity space inside of you. It's coming from an obligation. And you really want the idea of good to flow. And I think about this. This is one where I have to explore myself, because I put a death grip on my bag. And if I'm at the airport and the attendant will come out, may I take your bag and help you? No, I got it. I've got it, because I don't have $5 in my pocket. I got it. Where if I just let go and pulled out whatever I could give, I'd feel so much better about it. But I go through this little game inside my head of how much is enough. So how much is enough? Even when we have our pledge cards where those balloons are, you'll be getting more information about the stewardship program. And we just invite you to really relax with it and see what is yours to do this next year. Infinite supply of good is ever present. Rumi says this, a fish caught in a net thought, if I ever get out of this, I'll never live again in the limits of a lake. Next time the ocean, I'll make that my infinite home. That's the fish thought. Is it your thought? Rumi is very mystical and reaching into our understanding. So the very nature of our universe is this abundance, everywhere, always. CSL offers this beautiful insight from Thomas Troward. He observes that the universe creates by contemplating itself. In Science of Mind, we say that we become what we think about. The ancient philosopher Plotinus, he was very metaphysical. He reminds us, I do not argue, I contemplate. And as I contemplate, I let fall the seeds of thought into the mirror of my mind, which then becomes the mirror of matter. So contemplation is a very high, holy, spiritual practice, because when you contemplate, you don't just rehearse and feed to yourself what you thought before. You think deeply. If a judgment starts to rise up like a vapor, you look at that until you discern what is true here. You contemplate, you let the ideas just drop in. Richard Rohr recently, in some of his writings on compassion, really drove that home for me. So as we contemplate the infinite nature of the one, that contemplation itself aligns us with the nature of the one. It lifts us out of our conditioned beliefs of lack, limitation, and the struggle. And there, truth flows. Ease, grace, integrity, plenty, all begins to flow. There's no arguing. There's no doing all the math strictly with your tipping. It just flows. Whatever is, is. Simply turning our attention to contemplate what is the highest truth here? What is the highest truth I can know? And you open to the beloved and you put the divine first before you ever offer a coin. That's what it is. Contemplation is creative and healing. And in this creative expression, the nature of your contemplation then begins to express in your life. That's what Plotinus points to. The seeds fall onto the mirror of the mind, the creative process begins, and that then mirrors out into his life's experience. That's something for us to really remember as we decide to boldly walk in this life, feeling supported by the divine in every way. So key words here are listening to yourself. Is it limitation or is it flow? Limitation or flow? Where are you in that math of that? Are your resources flowing, or does worry, fear cause the stream to suddenly become a little bit of a trickle? Because the universe is only giving, always giving, pure and simple, abundant energy, supply, always giving. Are we open to that infinite presence? Are we open to divine substance? If we accept this nature, if we accept this teaching and the full power of the potential energy backed by the money itself, which is just the material form of divine good, of finance. Earnest Holmes, God is spirit, spirit is substance, substance is supply. This is the keynote to the realization of a more abundant life, the demonstration of success in all your financial matters. So you contemplate. If you sit down and there's worry first, heal the worry. Heal that. Pay attention to that. Call in a practitioner if you're feeling really stuck. Call a minister. Help me here. I really get a lot of this principle, but when it comes to this, I'm stuck. I'm stuck. But it's all impersonal, and it's all personal at the same time for you to look at that money as a sacred energy flowing. And we let it go and we let it flow. We swim in the infinite abundance of the ocean, allowing ourselves to release all these ideas, anywhere they're showing up for you today in limitation or restriction. And the need even to feel like, oh, I could give if I just could earn more. It's not even about that. You're doing enough. You're doing hard work in this life. So you don't even have to skimp here to be able to give there. Freedom, the God quality of freedom. And when somebody offers you something, say yes. Say yes. Yes, I could use that. Thank you. Thank you. And I will give in return. You see, it's a principle that continues to let yourself go. We move into this divine relationship and we can have a wealth knowing that it was created by this divine loving presence and it never, never will divide itself away from us. It is the freedom that we long for. And when we know this at such a soul deep level, we are free. So when I was preparing this message to you, I thought about those moments of our innocence. The purest moment was the time we were going through the birth canal, right? Now, what if during that moment, that innocent babe, that infant had the worry, boy, here comes life. I hope there's going to be enough out there. It's sure painful right now, getting squished. What if? But no, they just think, I'm in the flow now. Better not stop things now. And then out comes this baby, immediately picked up, embraced, wrapped in clothes, swaddled. If anybody has done swaddling recently, it's the most annoying, hard, difficult task to swaddle a little infant. They squirm all over the place. And you're supposed to pin him like a little papoose. It's so endearing to know that all of this is to make that innocence feel safe. The message is right there the moment you took your first breath. You were just simply born. So as I close this message, I just recently finished reading with several people Lessons in Truth. It's a unity book by Emily Cady. She's a very powerful teacher, and it really dovetails with our philosophy here. The only way God has of letting us know of the divine infinite supply, the divine desire to make it ours, is for Spirit to push gently on the divine spark living within each one of us. That divine Spirit wants you to be strong, self-sufficient, to have more power and dominion over all that you do. That divine quietly, silently pushing a little more of its self, its desire, into the center of our being. This mystery begins to enlarge, so to speak, and your real self, that deep self, and at once you become conscious of this growing urge inside of you to set yourself free. This desire also becomes more aware, bigger, grander, stronger. Another unity minister, Eric Butterworth, when we establish ourselves in this consciousness of God, the whole universe moves to flow into us the abundance of life. And again, here comes the word substance. One of my favorite writers was Catherine Ponder. And when you read the testimonies of any kind of book about New Thought and related to abundance and flow, money, finances, whatever you want to call it, hers was one of my favorites. There's gold dust in the air. I ought to have it. I kind of blend that with a couple of other teachers. But gold dust in the air. It's just there. Open up. Receive. And finally, Wayne Dyer. Abundance is not something we acquire. It's something that we tune into. So I'm going to close here just reminding ourselves that there is a presence. I would like you just to relax in that, knowing that the divine presence dwells within you as you. So you see, just receive. There's no place to go. There is the abundant universe, flowing good fortune. We can put down all worry. We can put down worrying about, am I receiving my share? Put that down with a blessing of love, knowing that your sincerity, your generosity of heart and mind is what is allowing itself to come to full fruition and expression through you. There's a freedom there, a beloved grace, that as you walk with that, the hand that reaches out to you to ask for a little bit more, you say yes, because I have plenty. There's gold dust in the air. And may you receive this gift unconditionally and be blessed, and may it flourish in your life. And then you also look to the moments that you experience every single day where money, sacred money, comes into the conversation, comes into your awareness as we buy gas, as we buy groceries, as we prepare life. We relax and put God first and contemplate how important that is, to allow that divinity to be our only source. And we let go of all conditions put upon it. It is infinite, and we bask in the sea, in the ocean of this blessing of love. It is our resource. It is our life. So thank you, God, for each one here with the ears to hear. the heart to listen, and the knowing to take action in their own experience. In any way possible, we stretch, we open, and yes, we receive, and then it flows again. I release the prayer. It's in your heart, it's in mine, it's in God, and so it is. Thank you. 360.
It's in every one of us to be wise. Find your heart, open up both your eyes. We can all know everything without ever knowing why. It's in every one of us, by and by. It's in every one of us. Oh, I just remembered. It's like I've been sleeping for years. I'm not as awake as I can be, but my seeing's better. I can see the tears.
I've been realizing that I bought this ticket, but I'm watching only half of the show. There is scenery and lights and a cast of thousands who all know what I know, and it's good, and it's so.
It's in every one of us to be free. Find your heart, let yourself simply be. We can all have everything without ever knowing how. It's in every one of us, here and
If the ushers would come forward, please. As we prepare to give our offering, our hearts are filled with love and appreciation, since what is offered here is for our spiritual well-being. We're filled with gratitude, knowing life stays in balance. As we give, we do receive.
love is something if you give it away. You give it away, you give it away. Love is something if you give it away. You end up having more. It's just like a magic penny. Hold it tight and you won't have any. Lend it, spend it, you have so many. They roll all over the floor. For love is something if you give it away. You give it away, you give it away. Love is something if you give it away. You end up having more. Money's dandy and you like to use it, but love is better if you don't refuse it. It's a treasure and you'll never lose it unless you lock up your door. For love is something if you give it away. You give it away, give it away. Love is something if you give it away. You end up having more. So let's go dancing till the break of day.
And if there's a piper we can pay,
For love is something if you give it away, you'll end up having more. For love is something if you give it away, you give it away, you give it away.
love is something
If you give it away, you end up having more.
It's so true, isn't it? It's so true. It's so true. All right. That's all right. I give thanks for the blessed donations received in the offering this morning and those during the week. I know each dollar supports our spiritual family in many ways as we grow together, pray together, and give thanks for all that this center has been blessed with today and always, and so it is. I'm going to just make a short little thing. You know that I love this time of year when we plan for the future, when people think deeply about how much they can support this center. Well, you know, a number of us are getting older, but there's a benefit. There's a great benefit because Paul and I now for too many years have the ability to make our whole yearly offering in January. Then we don't have to pay as much tax on that money. So if you haven't